Hi guys, and welcome back to Movies That Matter with the Viking. And DC fandom has come and it's gone, and we are still talking about it. Now, there was some high points for the weekend, and one of them was our first look at the Suicide Squad. Now, the Suicide Squad panel was actually a lot of fun. There was great chemistry between the cast. You can see that they all get on, and I'm sure that carries through into the film. They're on post-production right now, and I was expecting to see a full-blown trailer like we did for the Batman, like we did for Zack Snyder's Justice League and Wonder Woman, but we got a behind-the-scenes look, which actually was kind of a little bit better because it shows the grand scale that this film is going to be on. It looks like a very high-budget film. It looks like there's a lot of action sequences, a lot of explosions. That's what James Gunn said. The most of any comic book movie ever. One of his visual effects guys who works in the Marvel films was saying. So it looks good, and we got to find out which actors are playing which characters. Now, of course, Amanda Waller is coming back. We got Harley Quinn, we got Captain Boomerang, we got Rick Flag. We got these characters coming back, and it's great to see some from the very first film come back, because look, the first film was a success. It made a lot of money. I know it got bashed by critics and some audiences didn't like it, but I enjoyed myself. I liked it, but I still want to see the air cut. And I'm a little bit disappointed that Will Smith's not coming back, or Jared Leto's Joker, but look, they might come back in other capacities in the future, and we just have to look forward to this Suicide Squad film. But it looks like a high scale, and it's kind of being talked about like a 1970s war film, and that also gets me excited. Now, there's so many characters in the film that we haven't been exposed to yet on the big screen. Now, look, I'm not a big comic book reader. I'm not. I read some comics got to do with Batman, with Wolverine, and stuff like that, but I'm not really down deep into the comics. I'm sure some of you guys are. So some of you probably know these characters already, read comic books with them. You've probably wanted a live action depiction of these characters at some point in your life watching movies, and now it's finally happening. So I'd say you're happy. Now, for me, for someone who doesn't read comics, this is an educational purpose for me. So when this film comes out, I get to see some of these characters that I didn't know even existed, but I'll be educated in how they are, and that's what I do with comic book movies. I watch a lot of comic book movies, a lot of comic book shows, and they expose me to these characters I never knew existed, and they kind of give me a background and give me a feel of what the character actually is. This is a character here, the polka dot man. You can see the spots all over the suit. I'm not too sure what his power is or anything like that, but I do know that this actor, he has been in The Dark Knight. He has been in Ant-Man and the Wasp, I think it was. He was in a few episodes of Gotham. So he's been around, and he's been in some very high profile comic book material, and like that's a pretty cool resume to have of all those top comic book movies and shows. Pete Davidson, of course, from Saturday Night Live, the comedian. He's going to play a character called Blackguard. Now, I expect a lot of characters to die in this film. I expect to see kind of a Suicide Squad that dies, and then they have to call in the real Suicide Squad or something like that. Or maybe they're all going the one mission together. Maybe this mission entails for a big team, and you lose some along the way. But Pete Davidson, now, I was a bit iffy whether he could be a movie star, but I tell you, the King of Staten Island, directed by Judge Apatow, I really enjoyed that film, and he was really good in it. It suited his humour, and I'm sure that James Gunn can bring out the best in Pete Davidson as well. He's getting a lot more movies now at the minute. I think he's going to be in the Adam Sandler film in October. It's supposed to come out like a Halloween comedy. But Pete Davidson playing this character called Blackguard. Look, the suit looks pretty cool. His hair. We'll have to see. We haven't really got to see any footage of anyone acting in any scenes yet, but I'm looking forward to Pete Davidson in the film. Now, here's a big one that I really can't wait. Idris Elba. He's a great actor, and just something about Idris Elba whenever he's on screen, I just kind of stop and watch, because he has that kind of screen presence. Now, of course, he was in the Hobbs and Shaw film with The Rock. That did pretty well. He was in the Thor films, and he died in Avengers Infinity War at the start. Look, he had a pretty good run in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Maybe not used to his full potential, but I think that will be changed now within the DCEU when he is in James Gunn, The Suicide Squad. We got Peter Gablatti. I always messed that up. He is playing a character called the Tinker. Now, this is a pretty cool casting if you're a Doctor Who fan. He used to be Doctor Who, and now he plays this character called the Tinker, and it's actually, I presume the character has a high IQ, pretty smart, and got those kind of things coming out of his skull. So It'd be interesting to see this character in the film. So many new characters to look at, and these kind of character posters are pretty cool also. And then here's a big one I'm looking forward to: Jai Courtney coming back as Captain Boomerang. Now I wonder will he appear as a cameo in the Flash solo film? I don't know, because remember the Flash made a cameo on the Suicide Squad when he was the one who got him arrested and locked up in jail. But Jai Courtney's coming back. To what extent, I don't know. I hope he's not killed off early. I think one of his best roles was Captain Boomerang in the Suicide Squad, or in Suicide Squad in 2016. The character really suits him. And Margot Robbie coming back again as Harley Quinn, the Joker's ex-lover and all that stuff. Look, she was a big talking point of Suicide Squad in 2016. People were raving about her, and I think it helped that film helped having Joker, Will Smith in it, so got to propel Harley Quinn, got to propel Margot Robbie as the character. And then of course Birds of Prey, it made its budget back. I liked it. It was a good enough film, but I think the Suicide Squad film will be another different look at Harley Quinn, and Margot Robbie will play the character a little bit different because James Gunn probably has a different kind of vision. We got Daniela Melchior is playing Ratcatcher, which I think in the comics was played by a man. So that's pretty cool. So I presume she has a bond or some sort of feel for rats, and she can use them as an advantage. That's what I'm just presuming. I wonder if there'll be a scene like she's going up against people and she has rats and there's bombs to them or something like that, and the bombs go off. Here's another cool look at Harley Quinn with a bazooka of some sorts. Look, Margot Robbie really is Harley Quinn, and she has really took off since her days from Wolf of Wall Street. She's turned into a fine actor. I, Tonya was a great role also, and she is Harley Quinn. She really, really is. I'm just kind of disappointed there's not a Joker that she can play off. That's why I hope Jared Leto's Joker can come back in some capacity, or at least the air could gets released. But this shot here is pretty cool from this behind the scenes look. You got the Suicide Squad. So is this going to be the new Suicide Squad, and whoever's not in this lineup is dead? I don't know. You got King Shark there, and King Shark's getting a lot of exposure. He's in a lot of animated shows. He's going to be in some games. He's in this film, you know, and he seems to be kind of gaining popularity as a character. And it seems that Idris Elba's character is maybe going to take over as the Will Smith kind of persona, because Will Smith was kind of the face of the Suicide Squad team back in 2016. So maybe Idris Elba as Bloodsport is it, will be the leader of this new team with Harley Quinn by his side. There's a polka dot man again. It seems to be kind of a war going on with soldiers. Of course, John Cena is in this film, and he's been unveiled as the Peacemaker. I love John Cena and anything, big WWE fan, and I love the films that he's done so far. This is another cool scene with the American flag. Now I wonder will the characters in this scene end up dying. I don't know why, but I expect some characters not to make it the whole way through to the end of the film. You get to see Pete Davidson there as well. You got Javelin Man, Captain Boomerang is there. Nathan Fillion's character as well. Of course, Michael Rooker has come, and he's going to be a part of the DC universe now. Of course, he was in the MCU and a big Walking Dead fan, Merle from The Walking Dead. Here's King Shark about to eat some guy. Look, King Shark was pretty good. I'm sure the effects aren't done yet. They're still working on post-production. But here's a good character. Is it Sean Gunn? James Gunn's brother, who was he doing the motion capture for, was it Groot or was it Rocket? I forget, but he's going to be playing this character here. And man, look, I'm actually fascinated by how this character looks. It looks absolutely weird, and I can't stop looking at these images. What's this character going to be? Does it talk? How did it get to become this way? I am literally fascinated by that character. And here's another look at the squad lined up. Those would be pretty... Like, what I like about the costumes is that they're kind of... not just that they're colourful, but there's a lot in them. There's a lot of detail put into them, and it makes kind of the characters' personalities stand out in a way. It's a big team, a big assemble, and it's not like these are just unknown actors. There's some very high profile actors in this lineup, and I wonder how much screen time each is going to get to kind of flesh out their character, because you need to have enough kind of screen time so people can get a bond towards the characters. Of course, this was a poster that was released by James Gunn, the Suicide Squad for DC fandom, and it's pretty cool. It kind of gives off that 1970s, 1980s war flicks. maybe Apocalypse Now, that kind of thing with the helicopters. So I wonder who's going to be the big baddie in this film. Who's going to be the villain? Is it going to be a supernatural villain? Is it going to be more or less a war villain? And that's what the Suicide Squad are trying to stop. But a pretty good poster. That's my new screen. My lock screen cover at the minute. I just like the colours it's taken over from my Zack Snyder's Justice League one. Of course, King Shark as well. I presume he's going to be he's going to be a comedic element in the film, like he has been in some of the animated films with him and kind of Constantine having some banter together. So I presume that he'll have James Gunn has a good comedic tone, and the Guardians of the Galaxy films prove that. So I'm sure that will carry over to this film. Also, I'm also kind of I do think this film could be R-rated. There seems to be a lot of action in it. I just think at the minute R-rated is the way that DC are more open to. The Joker helped that door open. I also think the Batman could be R-rated, and if the Suicide Squad is R-rated as well, that's another big risk for the studio. But I'm sure David Ayer's incarnation of these characters, there was some R-rated moments in that, like the Joker getting Common's character to kill himself, Joker kidnapping girls who looked like Harley and then killing them because he wasn't happy with the way they were. So there is some R-rated moments from the Ayer cut, and I wonder will this film be that. Also, there's Ratcatcher. Again, I'm fascinated to see how this is going to work in the film. Why are they fascinated with rats? Why are they even holding rats? It's a little bit weird for me. Not the biggest rat fan, but I can't wait to find out what it's all about in 2021. Here's another look at James Gunn and his team. What's that character called? The purple or the orange kind of looking character. I presume it's a supernatural character, some sort of alien. That's what it kind of looks like. Courtney there. You got Javelin Man, Pete Davidson's there also. But it seems to be a good environment that James Gunn has created on set. The cast have talked very highly of him. He makes a good working environment. You can see how that happened with the Guardians of the Galaxy cast. They stood by him when he got fired from Disney about his tweets. Now, a lot of people said they're going to boycott the Suicide Squad because of what James Gunn said in those tweets years ago. Now, I, for one, have gone very hard on James Gunn over those tweets. Wasn't supportive of that whatsoever. But at the end of the day, those tweets were a long time ago. And I can separate the art from the artist. Now, I can't do that for every single artist. But in this case, it's not like it's anything that's that huge on that kind of high profile thing that happened, you know, kind of a way. It's kind of hard to describe it, but I'm looking forward to this film because I liked the first Suicide Squad, and because I'm a big fan of John Cena. I'm a big fan of Harley Quinn. You know, Nathan Fillion playing TDK. So I'm looking forward to this film because it's a DC film, because I've got all these characters and actors that I like, and I can separate the art from the artist, even though I don't support some of the stuff James Gunn has liked on Twitter, got to do with Josh Whedon and things like that. But I can still be looking forward to this film. I can still be excited to check this out in August 2021. Alice Braga is going to play, I presume, some sort of a soldier, maybe to work with Rick Flag. I don't think she's going to have any powers or anything like that. That's just what I get from that behind the scenes. Let me know, guys, if I'm off on any of these characters. Again, I'm not familiar. I don't want to read up on them either. I want to experience them in their full kind of capacity in the film, or when the trailers are released, or whatever information is released. So Maylin NG is going to play Manga? Is that the character's name? Yeah, so I guess that's what I want to do. I want to go into the film unknown of these characters. I want to go on and experience them. You got Michael Rooker playing Savannah. Big Michael Rooker fan. He's a great actor. You know, he was killed off in Guardians of the Galaxy 2. I don't think he's going to come back. But he was probably the star part of Guardians of the Galaxy 2. And also The Walking Dead Season 1, Season 3. I think he's in a little bit of Season 4. I'm not too sure. But he's good. I like watching him in anything that he appears in. Michael Rooker, he's a funny guy, and he's got a good bondness there with James Gunn also. And the big one, Viola Davis is coming back to play Amanda Waller. I love that scene from the post-credit scenes of Suicide Squad with her and Ben Affleck's Batman, about him telling her, you look tired, you should stop working nights. And then Ben Affleck, like, you should shut it down, or my friends will shut it down for you. You know, that kind of goes straight into Zack Snyder's Justice League. And that's why I want the Ayer cut to release, because there is elements of that kind of carries the story over into that world. But I know a lot of people are disappointed about David Ayer's cut not being announced, and I am too. And this film is a spit into his face. Look, James Gunn and David Ayer, they've supported each other big time. David Ayer has supported this film. James Gunn has talked very nicely of David Ayer as well. And I do believe that the real Ayer cut of Suicide Squad is a great film, and I hope to get to see it someday. But I'm really looking forward to this, and I hope it's not a complete reboot. Of course, you got Rick Flag, Joel Kinnaman coming back as well, different kind of costume, different kind of look. I hope he doesn't completely disregard what James Gunn did and what he did, or what David Ayer did with those characters. I hope he carries that over into this film also. But again, it's James Gunn's vision, it's in his incarnation of these characters, it's the story that he wants to tell, and all in all, I'm really looking forward to it. Definitely John Cena as Peacemaker, I can't wait to see what kind of character he's going to be. John Cena said he's kind of a douchey Captain America, which is pretty funny. But all in all, guys, I'm looking forward to the Suicide Squad. Comes out in August 2021. I hope the Ayer cut gets released so we can enjoy that also. But we've something to look forward to, another DC kind of anti-heroes film, and I'm sure James Gunn can do a great job with it. He's coming into DC as this billion-dollar director, so he probably got a little bit more leeway because he is this Marvel director that made so much money, and critics kind of love him. So I'd say he got to do a little bit more of his vision with DC than he probably might have got to do with Marvel, because in a way Marvel have to stick to that kind of formula. They let the directors do what they want, but they have to stick to that formula. But if this is an R-rated film and DC said, go ahead, you're the man, you're the billion-dollar director, go do your thing, that's what I think happened here at DC. But we'll have to wait, and hopefully the trailer comes out in the next few months, but the film is a long time away so far. But I want to hear your guys' thoughts on this, The Suicide Squad by James Gunn. Are you looking forward to it? Are you one of these people who are boycotting it? Do you like James Gunn? Do you not like James Gunn? What was your favourite kind of still image clip that came out of this Suicide Squad behind the scenes look? I, for one, looking forward to it. Can't wait to see a trailer. Go see it in August 2021. But guys, come follow me on all the social medias, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, you'll find me. I'm starting to do some videos on Instagram as well, so some videos that don't make the YouTube channel will go up on the Instagram, and you guys can come and interact with me and talk about those. That's what I love doing. Don't be afraid to come shoot me a DM, come tag me in something. I'll always try and interact with you guys. That's what we love doing, is talking about movies, and I want to hear your thoughts. Let me know about some of these characters that I might not know about. Let me know kind of if I got some things wrong. Again, I'm trying to learn about these new characters, and that's why I let the films kind of do that also. But guys, give a like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.